Hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Empower Hour. I am Lindsay Helm, founder and CEO of Empower Employ, and we are connecting the military workforce to corporate companies who want to hire them through technology solutions and corporate education. I'm really excited to continue on with our second round of our next guests that are joining us with Intuit. Today, we are specifically focusing on TurboTax Live and all of the wonderful programs that exist in this space and then with Intuit. So this week's guests, I believe we have Mandi Carter and James Purefoy. And James is joining us as the recruitment, and Mandi to talk about her experience. So let's go ahead and bring them up on the stage and let them talk about themselves and do an intro of who they are and what they do. So welcome.
Hi, everybody.
I think you may be on mute, James and Cindy.
Hello. And it gets me every time. Hi, nice to see you again, James. Hi, Mandi. Thanks for having us, Lindsay.
Of course. I feel like after COVID and everything we've been through, I want a t-shirt that says like you're on mute, just because it's like something that I always do as well. So I'm so glad to have you all here today. So let's get straight into it. So we could just go round robin and tell our viewers, starting with James, a little bit about who you are and what your role as is at Intuit.
Okay. Thank you, Lindsay. My name is James Purefoy. I'm a recruiter with the talent acquisition team with TurboTax Live. Been working with the team for 2 years, and I'm former military. I also grew up in a military family, so I definitely understand what everyone is out there in the field, what you're experiencing right now. So, but yeah, I've been a recruiter for 2 years at TurboTax Live.
And Cindy, would you mind going next?
Sure. My name's Cindy. I am a manager on the TurboTax Live side. I've been here since 2016, permanent since 2019. And like you with COVID, I feel like I have been stuck in this chair, never moving since 2019, thanks to the IRS and COVID. This is literally the best company I have ever worked for. I am a military spouse. I am also the mother of a 21-year-old getting ready to sign her 3rd-year contract with the Army National Guard, and she's excited, getting ready to do her first overseas deployment next year. So I'm excited for her to do that experience.
Amazing. And Mandi, will you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at Intuit?
Hi. So I'm Mandi. I am a military brat and a military spouse. So I took it from both ways, and I guess I couldn't get enough. Army all the way. I have been with Intuit for almost a decade now. I have worked with them on the contractor side and now through the full-time manager year-round side. And I absolutely love it because it really syncs up with my spouse's promotions. Everywhere else you worked, when they move, you could possibly move. But with Intuit, we move when they move. And just about every time he got a promotion, I was right there with him. So I've loved the ride.
Nice. Well, thank you all for joining us. So, Cindy touched on it a little bit. And if you excuse me 1 second, I'm going to make a small adjustment because I feel I'm a little bit taller and I need to adjust my screen. There we go. So, Cindy mentioned that she really loves working for Intuit. Would you mind sharing, Cindy and Mandi, why each of you decided to join Intuit and what's it like, or a day of the life as a tax expert or TurboTax Live expert?
So I didn't start here as a manager, although I had previous management experience. I started here seasonally. I had a small child, and it worked great for me to be here seasonally. And as someone who's in the military, this works great or somebody as a spouse of somebody in the military. This is a great position to be in seasonally. And even if you can come here on board permanently, if you have a spouse that is PCSing around the country, as long as you are still within the boundaries of the United States, you can move anywhere. Once you can be here, and within 24 to 48 hours, you are hardwired and you are able to take that computer that Intuit gives you and be back online with the same peers, the same manager, the same peers, the same customer, and you are back into your career. You are not looking for a new company. You're not looking for a new group of friends. You're not looking for anything new, start training. You don't have that uncertainty in your life. You're still continuing to do what you do best and growing yourself personally and professionally. And Intuit supports you as a person and in your career.
Awesome. And what about you, Mandi? What made you decide to join Intuit, and what's it like to be a tax expert?
Oh, wow. I have to piggyback off of Cindy because, like she said, it is absolutely awesome. And I did not start as a manager by any means. I started as a contractor, so I was the person that was like underneath the technical help here. And they stayed with me, they worked with me, they were still accommodating because at that time my spouse was at the peak of his career and I was still in school. So, like Cindy said, having those weeks off were really helpful. Having that flexible schedule of saying, okay, no, I can only work nights because my kids in school are taking all of daytime. And not to mention the FRG meetings that I still have to attend because he's now a sergeant and all of that, and still keep my career on track is absolutely priceless.
Yeah, and James, let's keep you involved in the conversation. Same question. What made you want to join Intuit, and what's it like to be in your current role?
Okay. Well, my experience is a little bit different. I do have over 30 years of experience, of management experience, not only in the private sector and nonprofit, but I was at at a different point in my career, and when the COVID-19 situation started, and all the companies were closing, my daughter and her husband, they just had a daughter, and after she was at the 6 month point, and the daycare had to close, so I basically took a year and a half, and they live about 30 miles away, and I drove down every day to take care of my granddaughter until the economy started to open back up, and then someone recommended Intuit TurboTax to me, and what captured my attention was the remote aspect of the job. So I researched Intuit. It's obviously a great company, it's a strong learning environment, and I said this was an opportunity I had to look into. So that's how I came to this.
And I had an amazing experience as an Intuit contractor as well. You know, kind of everything you all said. Definitely worked in different sector. And I know we're here to talk about TurboTax Live and QuickBooks Live, but just know there are multiple other opportunities, software engineers, program managers, you know, recruiters outside of TurboTax. So taking a minute to check out the site full scope is amazing. So let's talk about, you know, last time we got a quick introduction. I missed a couple key things I really wanted to cover with the three of you today. What are some benefits to your employees, and what trainings kind of are your favorite in this field right now? So let's start with benefits. What are the benefits to being a TurboTax Live expert?
So one of the benefits of being a TurboTax Live expert is that you come on board and Intuit supports you from the time you come on board. They support you with equipment, they support you with training, they support you with personal and professional growth, they support you with your offboarding, and your recruiter's there for you, your manager's there for you, your peers are there for you. Expectations of if you want to come back next season and what it takes for you to do that.
And for the three of you, you know, let's just say I'm a military spouse and I'm a veteran and I'm watching this today. How do I get started as a TurboTax Live expert? Is there a training course I'm required? What's the experience? What are the hours? Let's talk about some of those things, and anyone jump in and you know, give us a day in the life scenario?
Awesome. Well, I will say if you are coming in as an expert, you do want to come in with a little bit of paid experience. We do require that if you're going to be an expert, but we do have positions also, tax prep assistant, where it takes just a little bit of friends and family taxes that are done. And we also have our Intuit Academy that you can go through to get what we call badged, and that can count as some of your experience as a tax prep assistant. So those are a couple of ways that you can kind of get going and get started. And of course, always reach out to the recruiters and they can let you know the exact things that you need.
And I recommend that if you don't have that tax prep, that you can go onto the military base, and the military base provides tax prep for people that are active in the military and even people that are retired under the VITA program, and you can volunteer there. And under that volunteer program, they do the training, and that will get you what it needs to be able to talk to the recruiter like James and be able to help you come on board. We also partner with different companies like Fast Forward Academy will get you training for just a couple of $100. And I think it's like $500. And that Fast Forward Academy, once you complete that course, you don't have to go to a college, right? So this is just, you don't have to have a college training back. And for, I think it's $185, $190 times 3, you can complete the IRS enrolled agent program. And that when you're now credentialed, and as a credentialed tax prep preparer, you can come on board with a P10, and that gets you a higher pay credentialed.
Well, that is like the best piece of information I think I've heard today as far as how to go through that training and education program. So, James, what piece of advice would you give to military spouses and veterans who are struggling in their job search?
Well, definitely, you want to make sure that, especially if you're applying for TurboTax Live, make sure your resume is up to date. And if you're applying with TurboTax Live, make sure any tax-related experience that you have is on your resume, regardless of how old it may be, because we want to see how much experience you have. As Cindy mentioned, you can even though you have to have paid experience, you can continue to get experience working with VITA. Get as much education as you can. We have the TurboTax, the Intuit Academy for you to take the tax level 1, tax level 2 courses. But there are other options out there as well that you can get some training from. I don't know if you've ever heard of Udemy. You can go through Udemy. Make sure whoever you're taking the course from, make sure they appear to be credentialed and understand and know what they're talking about. But those are some of the things you can do to help not only bolster your knowledge, but also to help make sure that you're getting some experience, even though it's not paid. Now, if you're stateside, if you can get experience with anybody that has a retail operation, whether it's a corporate operation or whether it's a smaller independent retail tax operation, I definitely recommend you do that, because you combine that with your tax level 1. Doesn't guarantee you the job, but it definitely helps get you further up in the vetting process.
Well, that's amazing. So what's the best way to get in touch with each of you, or what's the process for applying for these positions?
I don't know if we have the links out there. You can always reach out to me. I believe my email address is provided. You can reach out to me, or you can go to our corporate website and go to careers.
Got it. And then I see, I'm going to take a second. It says, are there remote opportunities? We've got asked this question on LinkedIn. So are there remote opportunities that, and I think we tune in a little bit, but what are the remote opportunities for Intuit?
Right now, we're recruiting we have 3 remote opportunities. We have one that's called Tax Prep Assistant. I believe Mandi touched on it earlier. It doesn't require you to have, it didn't require you to have paid experience, but now it requires you to have at least 1 year of paid experience and being paid to have at least 30 returns or more per tax season. And when we say paid, we're not talking about preparing returns and then somebody slips you some money underneath the table to prepare it. What we're talking about are preparing returns. You have a P10, a preparer's tax identification number, and you utilize a professional tax software. The other positions that we have that are virtual are actual tax preparer positions, and those are the tax associate and the tax expert. Both of those positions require you to have at least 3 tax seasons of paid tax prep experience, preparing at least 30 returns and being paid for 30 returns or more. And the only difference is the tax expert also requires you to be credentialed, meaning you either have a CPA, an enrolled agent credential, or you have a practicing attorney's license. And as Cindy mentioned, if you become a tax associate, you'll receive an invitation to participate in the Intuit Enrolled Agent Assistance Program, where we'll help pay for you to get your enrolled agent credential that will qualify you to move into the tax expert role, which means more money and a higher bonus.
Well, awesome. That's amazing information. Cindy, Mandi, do you all have anything you'd like to add?
Just want to double tap on that enroll agent part. Like if you do come in as a TPA, don't feel like, oh, I can't move up. We literally pay for the classes. We have 1 hour, on the hour openings where we help each other and we do group study. You can access people that have been doing this for decades, that have worked directly with the IRS. Our pass rate on the people that go through for the C exam is actually 97%. So we definitely set you up for success. So if you come in, it's okay to come in on the ground floor, and we will hold your hand all the way through to the top.
That's amazing. Okay, so we're coming up on a little bit of time. The last question that I had prepared, and then I'll take any rapid fire questions or anything from the comment section. This is easy. I know James answered it last time, but Cindy and Mandi, the question that we always ask everybody is, what is your favorite duty station and why?
Probably be one that I wasn't at. Barcelona, because it's absolutely gorgeous and the culture is off the wall, but I wasn't there.
It's so corny. So my favorite one though, Hawaii. And that's because I was a kid when I went there though. But as a kid, it seemed awesome. And we knew everybody on the island and we were in our own little capsulated heaven. So Hawaii would be my favorite one.
And where in Hawaii were you, Mandi?
Yes, somebody's saying Mandi.
Mandi, can I tell you something really quick? I have a friend, I'm here in Arizona, y'all. So I had a friend who said when they put down their top choices of where they wanted to be, he said he wanted to be somewhere warm all year round. They sent him to Sierra Vista and he meant Hawaii.
But Sierra Vista was nice too. I like Sierra Vista. It was a great place.
But that's not Hawaii.
It is not Hawaii at all.
Well, maybe I'm actually in Hawaii. I'm stationed in Hawaii my husband is stationed here and I live here. So where in Hawaii were you all located?
Again, I was a kid. So you're tapping into my 13-year-old memory. But according to the pictures, I was somewhere on But my uncle was actually stationed there now, and I'm jealous. And he's going to retire at that spot. And he's not moving. So
my children are about that age right now, the 13, 14, and 16. And they basically surf and go to school. And my oldest is prepping for college already. And he's like, I'm never leaving this island. I'm like, well, too bad for you. I'm leaving this island in 2 years. You can either come or stay, but you won't be on your own, kid. You're on your own, kid. Taylor Swift lyric. But anyway, so thank you all so much for joining. I don't see any additional questions in the chat at this exact minute, but if you do have questions about all things Intuit, you can reach out to James via his LinkedIn. We'll post this video with his email and contact information. And lastly, I want to thank everyone for attending today. Thank you, James. Thank you, Mandi. Thank you, Cindy. Please follow us next week. We have our next Empower Hour. I believe it's going to be in 2 weeks. We may take a break because we're doing Thanksgiving. Yay, turkey. But we'll see you all then. Don't forget to check back in. And thank you so much for watching and joining.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having
thank you.
us.